at the two cars, obviously there is beyond night and day difference between them from a technology and a performance standpoint, but that's more natural for the evolution of the market. This car is a 1969 280 SL. The basic model W13 was out from 63 to 81. It has a 6-cylinder engine. Its MSRP was about $7,000. 0 to 60, 8.8 seconds at a top speed of 125. This car, on the other hand, is a 2019 SL450. It also is a 6-cylinder V6 bi-turbo, 362 horsepower, 0 to 60, 4.9 seconds. We'll do a little bit further comparison in a second. Okay, this is the engine bay for the 280 SL. As you can see, 2.8 liter, 168 horsepower, mechanical fuel injection. You can basically see all the components of the engine, which today obviously you can't. This car is difficult to work on because it's a Mercedes, but pretty much you can get access to everything, and somewhat reasonable. Okay, the 2019, on the other hand, I had to struggle to even find the engine latch inside, and opening it up, you can see a 3-liter twin turbocharged V8, 362 horsepower. Got your nice back cover on it. I have a hard time recognizing anything in here, to be honest. I can see where you put in the oil. Looks like a water overflow, but relative to potentially transmission fluid. I know this would be air conditioning, but pretty much no way you're ever going to be able to work on this engine. Okay, relative to the interior of the car, like the engine bay, all very simple, easy to understand. Does not have hardly any power equipment. Manual antenna, manual windows. This is a factory Fridge King air conditioning, but for the most part I think it was added on at the factory. Clock, no rear window defogger, no cruise control, power steering, power brakes, 4-speed transmission. If you can see the transmission, it's extremely strange and hard to get used to. So reverse, park is at the bottom, reverse is the first gear you hit, neutral, and then top is 4. If you want to go into low, I think when you have it in 2, it starts in low, but completely opposite of what you would think. It does have an AM/FM stereo radio, and that's about it. Very neat, tidy, pretty industrial. It's got good solid carpet that I think would last forever, as well as Mercedes Tex. I believe this is Tex for the leather, which they've held up extremely well. Okay, the SL450, on the other hand, from an interior perspective, very well appointed, and I would say has most all the features that people have come to to need and want from electronics and phone capability to a level 3 self-driving capability with Distronic cruise control. So pretty much all the creature comforts, air-conditioned seats, heated seats, massaging seats, heated steering wheel, most all the stuff you don't really need, but it has the stuff you want. And probably biggest difference between this car and the 69 is airbags. Obviously this has airbags, side airbags, front airbags, and I'm sure some airbags I don't even know exist somewhere in this car. So anyway, big difference. Okay, so relative to the top on this car, it obviously has a hard top, and they call it a Pagoda hard top. And in order to, I've never had it off, in order to remove the hard top, you have to release this lever on both sides, then you have to release these levers back here, then the hard top can be lifted off. And underneath this cover here, tonnet cover, it releases with a lever right here, and it'll pop up, and underneath there is a soft top, which is folded, and it'll fold up and manually latch just like this manually latches. Not once you get the hard top off, the soft top is very easy to lift up and down, but the hard top management, obviously, since I've never had it off, I have other convertibles to drive, it's not so easy. There you go. Okay, so that concludes the comparison of the two cars. Obviously, from a mechanical perspective, from a performance perspective, and from an optional equipment comfort perspective, you really can't compare these two cars. The only comparison is that they kind of represent the same thing at the time. It's an upscale German luxury sports car. Both, as other cars have too, they've evolved with the time. But what this has become, from a creature comfort, from a driving comfort perspective, from a safety perspective, you can't compare it to this car. But then again, you can't compare that car to this when it comes to looks and classic styling, the looks and the honks you get when you drive down the road, the thumbs up in this car. Doesn't happen with this. It does happen with this almost every time you drive it. So I'm sure everybody has their choice about what they'd rather have, but hope this was a good comparison to watch. Thanks.